Starting. And gentlemen, I believe we're live. So, Mr. Chairman, if I could ask you to call the meeting to order.
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Start off with our flag salute. Okay.
And gentlemen, I believe we're live. So,
Tom to lead the procession here.
All right, here we go.
I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic and stands one nation
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Silence for our armed services people serving all over the world.
I'm just going to reach out to you and tell you how you got to handle this. Okay. No, you do not have to take sick time or anything else. So you're covered there. And like I said, you can be expecting a phone call from her.
Okay, everyone. Thank you. Nita, roll call.
Explain everything to you.
I'd like to take a roll call for attendance. Mr. Calabro,
Here.
Mr. Flansbaum, Mr. Halverson,
Here.
Mr. Katz, Mr. Schuster.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Stafford Smith. Mr. Here's Justin. Hi, Justin.
Just to climb up there.
Think about it. And
Mr. Kirschner.
Yeah, President.
A tall ladder a couple times up and down.
We have a quorum. I'd like to read the notice of the meeting. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the provisions of the Senator Byron M. Bear Open Public Meetings Act. A notice published in both the Asbury Park Press and the Newark Star Ledger and filed with the Lakewood Township Municipal Clerk.
Did everybody read them?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm on
Hello?
minutes to jump to the minutes.
We have a motion.
Okay,
to accept.
that's all right. Move to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? None? Okay, we accept the minutes. Okay. Anita, you want to do the financial?
All right. Statement of accounts. Statement of accounts reflect that we have incoming revenue from the credit card payments on where it says the operations checking account. That is what that's where currently we are directing our credit card and ACH payments made for the T hangers. And also there are the credit card payments are fuel sales also. So we're going to fine tune that a little bit, but just letting you know that's what those mean. We've received deposits, and a lot more of our tenants are paying by ACH. We're adding another one this next month. So that means regularly it'll be debited from their account. The Strand Theater, we've received the rents on time from our manager. We have one tenant that has vacated his apartment due to illness. So we have one apartment open, and I imagine that Aggressive will take care of what they need to take care of to review people to get it rented. And essentially, that's how it stands. We haven't done any transferring, to my knowledge, of the escrow yet, although that should be upcoming soon for the Schwarzblatt building.
Yeah, so we're just waiting actually for our attorneys and their attorneys to coordinate that piece, but that amount is going to get released from the attorney trust account because
Now, do we know what that amount is?
That was
65,000,
I think.
Oh, is that what I see in the Alfieri account there? Okay, that's
Yeah, so that was held back at the time that we sold them that property because they had to develop the road and do other improvements as part of our right-of-way agreement with the neighboring property, the old Jessel building, Lightstone. And we were unsure of how much that was actually going to cost, and so we had set aside a certain amount that would be held in escrow, and then if their costs exceeded it, then we would release it to them, and if it was something less, we'd get back the difference, but they far exceeded that cost. So,
I see we got a Blue Club payment also.
yes,
We received the Blue Club, yeah.
they're back on track, you know, so we received that in January, and then we'll hopefully get the next one in April, you know, that was, as terms of our agreement post-pandemic, for them to get back on track this year, and then start making makeup payments as they go, in the July quarters.
Yep, yeah.
So
All
hopefully
right.
that'll
Well, that's
start
good.
rolling.
That's reassuring. So I move to accept the statement of accounts.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call that?
No,
Now,
Okay.
bill list, you'll do a roll call.
yes, the bill list, basically, we have a very standard bill list. We have statutory expenses essentially. The Schuster's was from the purchase of the chairs for the airport, the trailer. And trademark data and security is doing ongoing upgrade and repairs over at the airport with electrical work. So that's what that is. The rest of it seems to be standard charges. The Strand Apartments.
Yeah, well, there's a turn. In the Strand Apartments, it's the apartment you mentioned, so there was some repair. That was a longtime tenant who just was not physically able to do. We don't have an elevator in that building, so it was impossible for him to make it in and out of his apartment anymore. So he moved to another facility, or I'm not really sure. But that apartment really needed a serious overhaul. So there's some expense related to that, and then just basic maintenance around the theater and the apartments that's reflected there.
All looks pretty standard. Move to accept the bill list.
Second.
I'm gonna abstain from payment 2011. For the record.
Right. Okay. I will mark that down. May I do a roll call for the bill list? Voice, ready? Mr. Calabro,
I'm sorry, was that me?
Yeah.
Yes.
for the bill list.
Yes.
Mr. Flansbaum, abstain
Abstain on
from
2011. Yeah.
2011. Mr. Halverson,
Yes.
Mr. Stafford Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner.
Yes, except for the fantasy. I don't have that number.
4012.
It is number 4012.
Okay, I'll abstain on that one.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other questions? Mr. Ryman?
Okay, so I have a number of things for a closed session, but just a quick update on things. As of today, we are on track for our delayed project to start the park and ride. I have confirmation this morning that our Public Works crew is slated to begin doing the clearing of the park and ride on Swarthmore on Monday, the 15th. So that's good news. That should go fairly quickly. You know, once they're in there, we'll know what they have to do in terms of drainage and grading and what have you. But, you know, they're very efficient. They work fast, and we hope to have that park and ride up and running before long. That will, of course, enable us to start dealing better with some of the parking issues throughout the park. It seems a day doesn't go by that I don't hear things about on-street parking issues that some businesses are having, and it's something that really will be helpful to the park, at least for us to institute some restrictions in some of the more highly trafficked areas, like Swarthmore, where it can be a little bit hairy to get through certain areas when you have people parked on the streets on both sides and tractor trailers coming down both directions. It's difficult, but we're making progress, so that's good. Really quickly, the airport is warming up. I was out there yesterday, and we're beginning to see a lot more activity from the clubs and medevac. Unfortunately, a medevac helicopter was in there, and we're starting to talk to some companies, as we start to move towards the construction of our helipad, we can look ahead to looking for permanent resident companies that can base there. There, for medevac services, there are other conditions of the operation to consider, like pilot's lounge and potential sleeping quarters, because those people are basically on call overnights and so on. So that's things we'll have to consider for in terms of where we want to place such a facility when we have a tenant that wants to lock into that. But that's good. We're still waiting on the FAA to respond with regards to our plan for the new terminal. And there's been a flurry of emails on that the last few days, and I hope to have something to report on that by the next meeting or maybe sooner. And lastly, you'll see later in the subcommittee report that Mr. Flansbaum will give with site plans that growth continues to happen in the parks. There's a lot of good activity both in our main campus as well as in the corridor up on Prospect and James in that area. So we're continuing to see very good signs, and things are very healthy, and happy to take any questions.
So do we have a plan on how to direct the parking to the park and ride rather than in the industrial park on the street?
Well, the basic plan, we're going to work with traffic and safety on that. So, and we are already talking with them because they're getting a number of these direct requests as well for restricting parking. But given the fact that there's been casual street parking allowed for a while now, we're going to have to get some signage out there and have people kind of have a grace period, if you will. Once the park and ride is up and running, we'll have some kind of a plan for how long it's going to be, and we'll probably do some publicity and so on so that people understand that the changes are in place. But I think it's going to be better, safer, and more convenient for them because it's closer to the parkway.
Sure.
And it'll be more efficient all around. So, yeah,
Yep.
Good stuff coming. Thank you.
Steve?
Yes, sir.
The overall plan was to eliminate parking. Are we still going along with that with the township?
Yeah, so we're working with the township on that. If you remember, it's kind of gone through some iterations where at one point we were talking about taking some of the streets to one side of the street parking, some of the streets to no parking, depending on the width of the streets and the level of activity. Lately, we've been hearing from more and more quarters that the businesses that are impacted by the street parking would just like to have a blanket, no parking on the street. So, it'll probably end up a little bit of a negotiation, but, we're going to try and hit at least the hotter hotspots sooner so that we can get a couple of regulations on the books.
We're going to have input in that, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I've already heard from Sergeant Work over at Traffic and Safety about a few of the hot spots, and we're going to get together to look at how quickly we can implement fixes there.
Yeah, in Swarthmore, there's that trailer and the truck that keeps parking out there outside Icarus.
Oh,
Always.
yeah. And then further down by the taco stand, there's a few places that are just natural bottlenecks along Swarthmore, and certainly when we get Swarthmore is one of those streets that really ought not to have any kind of regular parking, maybe, like 5 or 10 minute drop off stuff, but otherwise not. Okay, if there's no other questions, then everything else I have is in closed session.
Okay, I guess we can go to Catherine with the attorney.
Yeah.
John?
She got
Attorney.
closed. Yep.
You have to unmute yourself.
They'll only have something for closed session. I don't think.
Yeah, it's only closed session.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Justin.
Where'd Justin go?
I don't know if he's there. Okay. So we actually had a Greg
We
may
have
want to jump in. We did
two
a
other
subcommittee.
attendees. We have two other attendees, two phone numbers, I think. Do we know who they are? Oh, there's Justin. Okay.
Oh,
We have two phone numbers that are here that I don't know who they are to mark them down. Mr. Schuster, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, I have you.
oh, so he's one of the phone numbers.
No, he's not. He's
No,
listed
he's
as
on his
Edwin
own.
Schuster. Yes.
Yeah,
You sure?
I don't have audio on the computer.
Yeah, so he's on the phone.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know what the other phone is. There's a phone.
Whoever the
Double
public is
zero?
supposed to announce themselves. No? Okay.
Okay, Justin, we're up to the subcommittee reports. Do you want to just briefly tell?
No, I really have too much to add. As you indicated, we had a site review committee meeting on these two applications that are listed on the agenda, and basically, the site review committee took no exception to both applications. They're both pretty straightforward, in terms of what they're trying to do. And Steve, like you said, it's growth in the industrial park, which is good to see. We're proposing warehousing buildings and commercial buildings, and it's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
Right?
all right. I think
We go to,
the other subcommittees, there is some relevant stuff, but it's contract or litigation oriented, so it'll be in closed session. Is our marketing person around?
Yes,
Oh, good.
you're marketing. Yes,
wanna-
I'm right here.
You're up next.
Oh, thank you. The Strand Theater had a reorg meeting and election of the board. Amy Freeman is the president of the Strand Ventures. Vice president is Andre Jacomets, the photographer. The treasurer is Karen Stafford Smith. I agreed to go back on the board since Bob's doing a lot better. And, do you have any questions about the Strand reorg?
No, that's good news. So that's
Okay,
exciting.
The second thing is I attended the economic meeting of the Monmouth Ocean Development Council and reported all fabulous things about Lakewood. I'd like to keep it.
Has joined the meeting.
The airport and all the great things that are happening in our town. So I was able to do this. And I'll be happy to write the press release on the park and ride. I guess Steve and Anita, you'll feed me the information and
Absolutely.
we'll get some drafts going. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
And
you.
if you have press you'd like, be sure to let me know. I'm ready, willing, and mostly able.
Thank you, Fran.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we're up to comments from the public. So again, I don't know if any of those phone numbers is a member of the public that wants to be heard, but we'll open the floor to them.
no, I don't recognize them, so.
Regarding public, I did stop at the Public Works to pick up the mail yesterday. By noon, there were no letters to be read from the public at this meeting.
Yeah, and we haven't had anything in the email either.
Has left the meeting.
Okay.
Whoever it
Left.
was, we didn't see them come in, so. Okay.
Right.
Okay, we don't have any resolutions, so if somebody would offer a motion to go into closed session, we
I'll
can.
move, we go to closed session.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Nays, none? All right, let's go into closed session.
Okay, hold on a second.
Come on, where are you?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna start the breakout session, but you have to wait.
I'd like to read the resolution into
Go ahead.
the exclusion of the public from a meeting under circumstances, and whereas this industrial commission of the Township of Lakewood is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, Now therefore be it resolved by the Industrial Commission of the Township of Lakewood in the County of Ocean as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of private and confidential matters involving any of the 9 exclusions as set forth in Section 7B of said law and as hereinafter specified. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: contract negotiations and litigation. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter will be made public only when the reasons for discussing and acting on them in closed session no longer exists. Said determination to be made by further resolution adopted by the Industrial Commission. This resolution shall take effect immediately, and the time is 11:50 a.m.
Thank you. And so we have comments from
Edwin
chairman or
Schuster.
comments from
Has left the
commissioners.
meeting.
Eddie left the meeting.
All right. Bob? Okay, we are back in open session. Mr. Chairman? You're on mute, Bob.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, the frontage acreage, I missed on that. Did we talk about that?
The what?
The frontage on the airport. What's the
Yeah, we're
status?
waiting on that. We're waiting on the FAA just to issue their formal opinion that that is area that we're free to develop in the way that we have planned. We submitted a plan to them months ago, and based on the federal regulations that protect our rights to do things like that, we should be getting
Edwin
on that. It's
Schuster.
just
Has joined the meeting.
it takes them time, so we're waiting on that. When that comes through, we'll be able to progress our discussions with the public-private partnership to actually get some meat on the bones in terms of what the deal will look like.
And also, I missed it, maybe, any further development on the Bathgate properties with Bricktown and the approvals there? For that
It's not
section?
Bathgate anymore. It's
No, I know that.
yeah. So it's Leone, and I'm not really sure that I know they're going before the planning board there in Brick for that property, but that's nothing to do with us. Our property.
It should be, maybe
I'm sorry?
it should be maybe involving us because maybe we could do something, get some access there while Brick entertains that zoning. You think we could have any influence in talking to them? I think you should talk to them. They weren't very cooperative, right?
I know they have encouraged it, and we're certainly in some discussions, but we'll have to wait and see whether the purchaser, who's still a contract purchaser, I think, right now, is willing to engage with us. We've made our interests clear. In the meantime, we are pursuing our node approval from the state, which will make that a viable piece. So we're doing our thing.
I'm just concerned that we're involved and we don't get left out.
Well, Bricktown is on record as encouraging that very much. So hopefully, if the contract purchaser is motivated, we'll be good. Any other comments from commissioners?
Any idea when we may be getting back into the building? Any word on that?
I think post scrubbers. I don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten
Who knows?
the official word. So
All right.
okay, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by
Okay, all
Hal.
in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you all.
Take care, everybody.
Everybody.
Take care.